Welcome back, everybody, to You Love It podcast. Concept's pretty simple. We get to talk to people who do what they love every day. We'll roll the intro, and then we'll get into it. As always, got my co-host JT. What's it doing, Bruss? Introduce our guests. Who we got on today?
Paulie, mate. Speaking of return of the Mac, our first guest, the smiling assassin himself, Damian Mckenzie. Damo, how are you, Russ?
Good boys. Appreciate that soundtrack. Thanks for having us on, eh?
And sitting next to me is Paulie. You probably agree with me, being a Chiefs supporter, the second fastest centre behind Dwayne Sweeney at the Chiefs.
Oh, nah, man.
Anton Lienert Brown.
I'm out of here.
Boys, fresh off the week off, how's it going?
Yeah, it's going good. We went to Noosa last week and first time up those ways. And what a place. Probably my new favourite holiday destination. Man, it's got everything, the beaches, cafes, restaurants and a gym. We gymmed hard, eh?
Yep. A little bit more lax than the coast, yeah? The Gold Coast?
It's real good. You know, Goldie's pretty full on, but Noosa's probably just the right spot.
Yeah, nice. Damo, yourself, how'd you enjoy the week off last week?
It was a good week. It was good to get away. Obviously been in Gold Coast and up Townsville, so pretty busy. And then, first time up to Noosa, so we bussed up. She was a pretty dusty bus trip up on Monday. Got up there, and it was just nice and relaxing. Beach was just a walk down the road, so that was mint. And then, nice to be up there for the week and back into it this week. We got a fair thrashing.
Yeah, speaking of dusty bus trips, there's a bus trip to the NRL Grand Final. How was that?
Oh,
it was good, man.
Can't remember. No, that was awesome. For myself and Damo, that's like a bucket list thing to do. So to be able to do that was unreal. And the riff got up Penrith Panthers, so that was mean.
I saw a few of those jerseys, boys. They all look pretty new. Is that
right? Honestly,
the old halftime, was it?
I packed that because I knew Penrith was going to be in the final and we could make it. I think I was a big boy when I was young. I got that when I was 12 years old. So day one, right?
You guys are good.
You need to tell him what jersey you wear around home, mate. You've got one at home, eh?
No, I don't have one.
He's got a Rabbitohs.
No. No way,
there it
bro.
is.
He does. On the fence.
Speaking of Noosa, boys, where you guys were staying was pretty low-key place. I think people like Idris Elba, Dwayne Rock Johnson stayed there. A 6-star accommodation. Looked pretty like a pretty sweet spot up there, boys.
The Rock's my cousin. Just, I stayed in his apartment. It was mean. But like we said earlier, like just what a spot. Yeah. Man, it's a special part of Australia, and we'll definitely be back.
Yeah, Noosa is a pretty small part of Queensland. It's a bit like where his boys grew up, Christchurch, I think. He's gonna touch on that.
You're not giving Christchurch much credit. It's a bit bigger than that. Christchurch got about 500,000 people, but it's
the same size.
I grew up I'm originally from Christchurch, and Damo's a bit different, but the Sea City, I grew up in sort of Richie's area. You would have heard of it, the UPR. I was sort of on the outskirts. I can't really claim it. Probably didn't grow up in the hood like he did, but I enjoyed my time growing up in Christchurch. It's probably somewhere when I have kids I'll move back to. I loved all my schooling, and it's probably a good place because there's not too many distractions. If I grew up in Auckland or Sydney, I'm not sure if I'll be here. Might be doing something else, being a builder or something. It's just
for the Rabbitohs.
Yeah. It's just that perfect spot where you can enjoy your time, but also, play sport and keep a level of discipline.
Damo, a bit further south?
I was a bit further south, south as it gets pretty much. Born in Invercargill, so from the deep south. And I moved up to Christchurch 2009. So when I was started my high school up there, went to a school called Christ College. ALB knows a lot about. Yeah, and I just brought it up there. I grew up on a dairy farm, so parents are dairy farmers, and so it was nice. Yeah, nice to get out of. Obviously, Gore, where I grew up from, is a great wee town, and
It's probably a little bit like Noosa. Gore's like
very
the size of
similar.
Noosa.
So you swim in
it's
the river,
cold.
you swim in the river and not on the beach. So, no, I was moved up to Christchurch, and then yeah, it's great up there. I really enjoy it as a city. We were there when the earthquakes happened too, so that was not the greatest, but and then played a lot of rugby with Anton growing up, and yeah, it's Christchurch is a cool place. I enjoy it.
Yeah, what was it? A scholarship or something?
Yeah, it was a scholarship up there. Actually, it was like a sports scholarship, and I played tennis when I was a bit younger. You were always encouraged to play like 2 sports when we were growing up. So one was tennis, one was rugby, and then I didn't even last a year, I don't think, because you got to the decision where they're like, okay, you're gonna have to play tennis in the winter, and I was like, well, that's not gonna happen. So started playing. Obviously, just played rugby right through, and picked up a bit of golf and that. So yeah, it was a good school to be part of. We weren't really a great rugby school, but batted well above our weight, I tell you that right now.
Mate, Southland boys didn't want to pick you up?
Yeah, I was like, that was just down the road, and I guess my brother moved up as well. He was in Gore, and it was probably an opportunity for him to try something new as well and get out. So yeah, we probably didn't move so much for the rugby. It was more just a new experience, and got up to Christchurch, and got offered a scholarship, both of us, to Christ College, and we don't have plenty of brains, but went up there, boarded, ate our lunch, played a bit of footy, and that was fun.
And Anton, Christchurch boys, so big rivals, yeah?
Yeah, mighty Christchurch Boys High School. Second most All Blacks in New Zealand. Dan Carter, Andrew Murden, Brody Retallick, Owen Franks. The list goes on. We dropped them off, quite a few times.
Who got the bickies in the first 15 game?
Yeah, we did.
Ooh.
To be fair, they did bet above their weight, but they were the epitome of white battlers, and they were such white battlers that Damo led the haka in his last year. Can you imagine this guy leading a haka, bro?
Way.
Go on YouTube and look at it for yourself. But it was a good rivalry. It's funny. Christchurch is all about what school you went to. So you ask someone, or if they say they're from Christchurch and you're from Christchurch, the first question will be, what school did you go to?
Yeah.
And every school's got a nickname, and you take a lot of pride in the school you went to, so it's pretty cool.
So I remember the first time we went up there to have a look at the schools, and I think it was Cross were playing St. Bede's, and coming from Gore, it's like you just play your local schools and stuff. It's pretty humble. There's not too many supporters there, but they got like the old boys down one end, both ends, so they can't fight. And they're walking out. There's fights afterwards. There's cops like loud, and like everyone's chanting, and like the chants are pretty rude. You don't want to mention them again, but that was it. Like the schools had such big rivalries, but it was quite cool.
It's a pretty awesome feeling too, because the school will get behind you and do the school haka while you're playing, and that's pretty
got us up. I tell you that, right?
Our school haka got us up. I'm not sure about these boys, but their school chant was pretty mean.
Yeah. So, you guys who play Richie School, are they in the same division?
Stack, yeah.
Stack was that was probably our most enjoyable game, because it was two of the
easy
battler teams, so it was just, you always enjoy going, because whenever we played Christchurch boys or St. Bede's, they'd have a lot of big island boys and stuff, and us, we white fellas, man, we just get it up.
He's probably the fittest team,
but like that, you just kick it off, and they'd catch and they'd run the length, and this ain't fair. But you sort of start getting to the same height and weight when you're a bit older. So our early years at playing rugby, she was tough. Yeah, real tough.
Then from there,
they all good.
Sorry. They're all good. So from there, boys, you guys played club down there, or did you guys go straight into NPC or Mitre 10 back then?
Yeah, sort of. Well, Damian and I are the same age, but I was a year older. Yeah, you can figure that out. You know,
scholar.
I went up here.
He doesn't even know the word for it.
So we're a year apart, but we obviously played a lot of rugby together. And pretty much at the same time, we were sort of approached to move up to the Chiefs. Well,
true.
My story was that after a game, sort of A guy, Wayne Smith, which I was blown away by, one of the greatest coaches, in my opinion, that's coached the game, approached me to come up to the Chiefs. And pretty much since then, I was set on going to the Chiefs, because for someone like that to approach me was pretty amazing. And I think you sort of had the same sort of story.
Yeah, similar. I never thought I'd go up to the Chiefs because, I grew up in Southland, so I always thought, I'll just go play for the Stags. Be lucky enough to try play for the Stags and then maybe the Highlanders. And I actually did support the Crusaders when I was younger too, so... it's
covering all bases.
Yeah. Just collecting team bags. They similar actual process. It was probably through Wayne Smith that was like, there's an opportunity up in Hamilton. Do you want to come up and move up here and train with the Chiefs, like as an interim sort of contract? And initially I got offered a contract by Bay of Plenty, but nothing from Waikato. But kind of moving up there, knew I wanted to try and base myself in Hamilton, so I didn't have to keep coming back and forth. And then, fortunately enough, Waikato offered a contract, and ended up heading up there after school and played the same club as ALB, played for varsity. We had a couple of years of club rugby, which was cool.
And after that, so you guys go straight into there, or you guys played in the 2014 New Zealand? Was it 19s or 20s?
Yeah, we played 2014 under 20s together.
Yeah.
And I debuted. I was sort of through a lot of injuries. I got a chance to debut for the Chiefs in 2014, and then Dmack debuted the next year and sort of took off.
Yep.
And I was battling behind him for a while. Took me a while to sort of catch up, but we sort of everything sort of happened around the same time for us.
Yeah,
it was similar. We probably played a year of varsity together, and then played Waikato, and then into the Chiefs, and it took off pretty quickly. We were pretty lucky to get a lot of game time, like at a younger age, and sort of it was you sort of chucked in the deep end early, but it was kind of cool to experience it at that early stage of your career, and it was fun. Rugby was tough.
That's when the Chiefs were beating people for fun, eh? Like that 12, 13.
It was, we both started in 2014. Was it?
Yeah, I played 20s in 2014 and then was in training at the latter part of the year, but never played, whereas ALB played 2014.
Yeah, so pretty much since we moved up, they haven't won since. But
so they won two, and they signed you
the problem. They won two, signed us, and they haven't won since. Unlucky else.
When you signed up with the Chiefs, anyone there take you under their wing, give you a hand? Was Sonny there, or he'd left?
Nah, Sonny had left, but like Damo said, I was a year earlier in the wider training group, and sort of guys that really looked after me that year was Augustine Pulu and Tim Nono Williams, and old Koro Liam Messam was sort of helping me along the way as too. I was only 18 years old, very very green, had no idea what I was up to, but it was a pretty awesome year.
Yeah. Do you remember much about your debut? I think it was in South Africa.
Debuted in South Africa on the wing. Against the Bulls, and I remember clearly that I didn't have the best debut.
Oh, really?
But that's all good. I took it plenty of learnings from that.
Yeah.
I was pretty green at the time, very young, and I thought, it was the end of the world, at the time, but a few years down the track, you're like, I wouldn't change that experience for the world. Because you hope your debut's unreal, but it just didn't happen that way. Yeah. But it took plenty of learnings from it.
Yep. And Damo, your debut?
My debut was 2015. It was up in Auckland at Albany Stadium. Yeah, we played the Blues, and I was actually, my brother Marty was in the team as well. And we played a few preseason games. I was like, well, Marty will start and I'll be on the bench. And then they named me at 10, and so I was pretty shocked. And then, but the cool thing was, Sonny was there that year.
So that's right.
Yeah. So my debut, he played at 12 and I played at 10. So it was pretty cool. But it was physical, and I'm sure the whole week they must have been like, right, we're just going to run at 10 all the time. Yeah, there's some big boppers come down my channel most of the night, but no, it was cool. It sort of took off from a little bit from there, and that was just before Cruds was coming back through like All Blacks, getting slowly brought back into the game, and then once he come back, I just sat on the pine for a while, which was still all good. Got a little bit of time here and there off the bench, which was fun.
Yeah. He had a day out on his debut, that debut he wished for. He had an unreal one, and then you sort of moved to fullback when Cruds come back.
Yeah, once Cruds come back, sort of there was Cruds and Gareth was still there, eh? Gareth Anson.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Gareth was still there, so he played a bit at 10 as well. So they sort of chopped and changed and did a little bit at 15.
So you were always a 10?
I always was a 10. Growing
Yeah.
up at school, always was a 10.
Yeah.
Played 10 growing up, and then it was not till the 20s year when the year Richie and Simon Hickey were the 10s.
That's right.
And there was like a couple of 15s floating around. And then they said to me, "Oh, would you be happy enough to play 15?" I said, "Oh, look, I'll be happy enough to play anywhere." And so then, from there, that probably the 20s year was the first year I played a bit of 15, and obviously enjoyed it because it's a bit more free, a bit more of a free reign back there, and you can sort of do what you want. But
you sort of found your feet at the back. What is your preferred position?
I actually probably more like I've gotten a bit older is probably like 10. Like I just more of a enjoy more control of the game. Because in my early days, like playing 15, you just get excited, and like sometimes I'd just be
run from everywhere,
and like boys would turn around and be like, you don't realise when you're young because you're like, oh, I don't, they kick you the ball. It's like, well, I'm going to run it. I don't want to just kick it back. So it's taken me a bit to like learn to mature around that sort of stuff. And I probably 10 at the moment, but obviously we've got some pretty good 10s in here at the moment with Richie and Bodie. So
we always JT always gives Richie crap about Simon Hickey starting a program. And you guys spoke about Sonny, much of an influence. Like people always talk about how professional he was, or he is, the way he kind of carried himself. Was it pretty much easy to see when he was down at the Chiefs?
Foz, do you want to jump on?
Nah, he actually had a 4 rounds of golf. Hey, Foz.
Hey, Foz. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's live.
Asking about how well our golf's gone.
JT, how are you?
Nice to meet you.
Cool, nice to meet you.
How is your golf gone?
I was asking about who the coaches play. I said, Fozzie plays.
He was just telling me he wants to start 10.
Does he?
Yeah.
It's funny because normally he stops and he just says he just wants to start.
I did say I'm happy to play wherever too, eh, boys?
There are a couple of champions. I'll leave him.
Thanks, Foz. Cheers, Foz.
Sorry, everyone.
See ya.
Got the viewers up.
Sonny.
Yeah, about Sonny.
Yeah, bro, he was it was probably like when you first go in, you're in the changing room because it's just sort of more surreal than anything. Like, but he had such a presence. Like whenever he walked into a room, and particularly his professionalism around everything. Like, he was first to training, probably last to leave, recovery, every sort of thing. And when you're young, when I first come in, you just don't say anything until you talk to, So like you just listen to them what they had to say, and he's pretty he's an athlete, eh? Like you look at him, and man, I don't think he's got 1 ounce of fat on him, to be honest. Yeah,
and like for me in my high school years, Sonny, was my hero. He's got a Palangi mum, a Samoan dad, just like me. So instantly there's sort of that connection, and obviously we didn't know each other, but for me that was awesome. So to eventually get the chance to be around him, play with him is like just mind blowing. But Damo's nailed on the head. Like he was professional. He was first to training, did everything he could to perform. But the most impressive thing about Sonny and is what he talks about a lot now is just the man he is off the field. He put so much time into being a great man. Obviously he's an amazing athlete, but he's so much more than that. He's achieved more than probably any sort of Kiwi rugby or league player can do. His amazing feats, but he stays humble, he stays grounded, and that's what he teaches boys around him. He achieves amazing things, but most of all, he's grounded, he's humble, and that's what you see in Damo.
I learned it from this bloke.
That's the great thing about people like Sonny, is it's the effect they have on others.
Yeah.
And that's, I guess, the legacy or that seed that they want to plant into people being better. And I mean, classic example is probably Quaid at the moment. The Quaid at the start to the Quaid now, two totally different people. And that's what you see with a lot of guys. Where they started, even Damian spoke about the way you played at the start of your career to you maturing now. It's just about growth, isn't it, as individuals? Is that how you kind of see where you guys have started to where you guys are now?
Yeah, hard. Like it's funny because when you're young and you get an opportunity, like you love it, it's awesome, but sometimes you take it a little bit for granted. And like as soon as you get a little bit older, you actually realise it's like, this is, like we live in the dream. Like get to come to work, try and lift tin in here, don't lift a lot of tin, but get on the rugby field and
190
play,
for 2 on the squats yesterday. Not bad, eh? A little guy.
Quarter squats.
Pulses.
But yeah, you do, like you take things from other people's games and not so much on the field but off field and how they conduct themselves. So yeah, I think you definitely learn from other people, and the older you get, the more you sort of. Well, never that we ever took anything for granted. Like we probably growing up, we probably got a taste of like when you come into a team, you talk when you're spoken to, and then you sort of earn your stripes. And it's maybe like a little bit different now. Like you're encouraged to talk early. So it's like we kind of got a taste of both those types of environments a bit, and that's kind of, I reckon, been quite good. Like to learn, I guess, how to grow as a player, but mainly on field and off field as well. Yeah, if that makes sense.
No, it does. And speaking of lifting boys, we're in the Iron Paradise, as Uncle Dwayne Johnson would call it. Who's the heavy lifters in the team, apart from Nepal?
That's their squat rack right there. See, like there's about 5 over there. So that's where all the boys go, and then you look over and
it's Neeps and Moods right there. That squat rack.
Yeah. Don't touch the squat rack. That's their squat rack. And we sort of and then get it done pretty quick.
Most of the front rowers, the Tongan boys, and they can lift.
Quinn Tupai years.
Quinna.
Yeah.
He's like
strong.
He's a man child.
Jeez,
that guy can lift.
I don't know what they feed them at Hamilton boys, but he can lift some time.
Yeah, Seb was speaking about how he was playing first team like year 10.
Yeah.
Sounds about right, eh? Yeah.
It's like these blokes just come straight out of school and they're massive. Man, I've been trying to get big for years. I don't think it's ever going to happen.
That's the thing about Kiwis, when they're playing rugby and you think they've probably got kids on the sideline. Like at school. Like that's how old they look.
100%. But Seb actually did, though. Oh, no, man. Sorry, Seb.
And then from the Chiefs, you spoke about Sonny and all those big guys helping you through. They obviously helped nurture you through to the All Blacks. What year did you guys make the squad for the All Blacks and eventually debut?
For me, it was the same year for us. Pretty much the whole journey's been 2016. We both debuted. Yeah. And it was just sort of a dream come true, really. It was, growing up, always want to be an All Black, but thought you got to be Superman to sort of do that, to even play Mitre 10 or Super Rugby.
Yeah.
I thought you got to be Superman. So to get to that stage, I was like, wow, this is awesome. And then to be called into the All Black environment and get to play was, man, it's just an amazing feeling.
Yeah, mine was 2016. Yeah. Played Argentina over in Argentina, and it was actually, I come on with like 25 minutes to go, and like usually with All Blacks, like their last 20-25 minutes is just straight out of tax. It's like, perfect. Yeah. Come on, one of the boys gets yellow carded, and so like we're just on defense the whole time. Like, touched the ball a couple of times, but not many. Someone kicked it over. It was a cross kick. I went to try to catch. I slipped over. Someone scored, and it went quick. But it's awesome, eh? Like it's more so like during the start of the week when your name gets read out. Like that's when it sort of hits, and you sort of just go about your work throughout the week. And also, my parents come across, which was cool. They flew right across, and some family friends and a good mate of mine who have always followed me around. So it was nice to have some people in the crowd to go catch up with afterwards. But
Do you guys remember where you were when you got the call up into the squad, being named as an All Black?
So sort of named the team earlier in the week. So I guess when your name gets read out, that's when you actually know. But I was injury cover. So I was just at a training camp, and Shag pulled me aside and said, "You're going to be a part of the rugby championship. Congrats."
Wow.
So it was a little bit different for me, but you probably originally got a phone call. He made the initial squad, so yeah.
Mine was for the June series against Wales. Yeah, we just finished playing the Waratahs actually, and was in the airport and got a phone call. But it's funny that series. So there's 3 games in I think they're Auckland, Wellington, Dunedin, and we had won the series after 2 games, and then the 3rd game was on in Dunedin, and we get to the day they named the team, and reading out all these names, and these boys who haven't played yet all get named, and I was like, oh, here we go, I'm gonna get a crack here. And then after 23, it was like, oh, fuck it, no. It didn't get named, but everyone else in that whole squad got named. The whole 3 weeks apart from me. But then I soon realised afterwards, like, had a convo with the coaches and staff, and they're like, oh, because during your week you've got your week plan, so like what you're working on throughout the week, and naturally, like, always been like, if I'm not playing, like, I'm always trying to help the other boys out. Yeah. And I was like, so during the week I didn't get names, so I'll just help out the other boys where I need to, and soon realised, like, you don't do that. You got to leave like selfish and do your own work-ons and stuff. Yeah. So I thought I was naturally just helping out, but soon realised I've actually got to do some stuff that's going to benefit me. So from now on, I've sort of.
So is that why you didn't get selected?
That's what I put it down to. Nah. Well, it might not have been, but hey, everyone else got a crack. But yeah, so that was the first time I got named, and then I don't think I got named in the championship team. I sort of got called in as injury cover as well, and then was lucky enough to get a run round. So
nice. Anton, you're against the Wallabies your debut,
yeah. It was pretty crazy. Like I said, I was injury cover, and then got into the squad. And the first week, the first bleed, we played in Sydney, and Sops and myself weren't playing, and to be fair, I was really just happy to be there. So was he. Like, we're quite new, and like, sweet, that's us all. Championship will be the bag holders. Unreal. And then at training, George Moala, unfortunately, did his ACL. And then Crotty got a head knock in the game, and that's how I ended up starting the next week. So, I went from, being at home, injury cover, into the squad, thinking I'm going to be a bag holder, to playing and starting the next week. So it all happened pretty quickly for me. Ended up debuting in Wellington versus Aussie for the bid too, and we managed to win. So to be a part of a game like that for my debut was pretty cool.
I think I seen you set up the first try with a shocking pass. I think it was forward to Daggy. It was a shocker.
He's the most creative passer you've ever.
Honestly, I can't throw a normal pass, but somehow I can throw those passes out of my ass. I just remember being so nervous, and I honestly can hardly remember the moment, but got the ball, and then someone was there. I just chucked this pass, this miracle, and thank God he was on my side, because the ball just ended up in Daggy's hand. Because, geez, it could have gone wrong. I probably would have got subbed if it didn't come off. It's pretty cool.
You spoke about the school haka, doing your school haka. How was it doing the All Blacks? And will we ever see you lead the All Black haka, Damo?
Nah, far from it, unfortunately. It's... Well, at school, it was like the captain lead the haka, and to be fair, we didn't have a lot of other. It was all for us
brown boys.
But
Damo's part Māori.
Yeah, I've got a little bit of Māori in me.
See that little bit of, that hair there
on my mum's side. So. But yeah, it's obviously a little bit more intimidating than the All Blacks haka, and it's cool, man. Like, you get up there and you watch it as a little kid, and then once you're up there and you're doing it with them, and even once you do couple pango, that's like next level. And then the one we did in Townsville was like, it was wicked. And like, watching that, we just we usually go on the Niho, and then it was changed to like a full on. We were just kind of like standard old school where it used to be. Yeah, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's real theatrical, just adds to the whole vibe of the game.
Yeah,
especially that haka. You guys changed.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, there's one of those Panthers jerseys.
Yeah. Day one. Here's a day one.
Still got the tag on it.
You're live, bro. You're live. Say hello. Yeah. Yeah, live.
Nah, not live.
He's talking about the Browns Rabbitohs jersey he's got at home.
Got no Rabbitohs jersey.
Full Rabbitohs kit.
Sammy reckons you're jumping on next. Yeah, they're right.
Right, garbage. Browns put me under the bus.
Yeah, actually am a little bit.
Hucker.
We're going to have to find the YouTube clip of that.
Oh yeah, we'll put it up with the.
Had Folsom before.
Bro, yeah, Fozzie.
Yeah. Just
Bro, he thought we were live. He was like saying hi to everyone. Yeah, they've been going hard with him, eh?
That's good. What are you up to, Russ?
Half hour. Yeah,
What are you up
won't be
to?
too long.
Doing some computer work.
Sweet, bro. Yeah, I'll see you soon. Ish.
Matt Burton.
Those boys are here, I am.
They still here.
No, they were. This
Oh,
is
yeah.
their spot.
Oh, yeah. Oh, they're around the muck, eh?
Oh, funny, man.
It's funny with the league boys, like they don't, because when they see like bump into us, they're like, oh, it's, they always, but like
Toggle.
Yeah.
You're on next, bro.
heaps of us boys like massive league fans. You know, we watch heaps of leagues. So
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
we're more starstruck to see them. Like, we saw Kamikamitha.
Oh, he's massive, eh? He's-
Yeah, and like he was like,
Oh, yeah, like,
he was
yeah.
bowing
real
down.
cool,
I'm like, bro, like, you're the man. You watch heaps of your rugby. But I don't think they realise that.
Yeah.
Boys are big NRL fans.
So the Storm boys are still here as well.
Yeah, they were here.
They were up in Noosa.
Yeah, but they were here first,
Oh, and did they move?
and then they moved. They must have moved for Penrith because they would have come here when Melbourne shut down,
Yeah.
and then when Sydney had to come over, they
Yep.
must have moved to Noosa
And then,
for Penrith came here.
yep.
Oh, bro,
Man, like,
imagine Noosa for like there for
they're
10
both-
weeks.
yeah.
That'll be. I think.
All right, back on. Boys, one thing I wanted to ask you guys about was like routines. Do you guys have any? What does your normal day look like in camp and just when you're back at home?
Camp's pretty like it's like once you're in a test week, it's just a repetitive schedule. You know, like if you're in camp for 4 weeks, Monday's the same, Tuesday's, you know, it's just it repeats. But it gets quite good. You kind of get used to that schedule, eh? Like it's Monday's a pretty low key day, like a recovery review. Yeah. Tuesday's a big morning training. Tuesday gym in the Arvo. Wednesday's a whole day off. You want to go from Thursday?
So you keep going, bro.
Oh, yeah, right. So then, Wednesday's off. Thursday morning we got like a gym. Thursday Arvo is our big training. So like usually if we're at home, we'll go train at the stadium that we're playing at. But here, if we're away, we just train at wherever the venue is we're at. And then Friday's a chilled captain's run.
Yeah.
And Saturday's a long day. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like 7 o'clock games back home. You sort of, for me, I sleep in as long as I can. So maybe like 10 o'clock, get up, have a feed, go get a coffee, and then sort of just sleep most of the day.
Yeah.
Around 2 o'clock, we have like a walkthrough. Other than that, it's just trying to sleep and just buy time to get to the game.
How shit is a 8 o'clock kickoffs here for the championship?
It's tough. Like, it's just a long day. The longest, I remember a few years ago we had one in France. It was a 9 o'clock kickoff.
No.
And it's just like, it's just a long day. It's a real long
It was,
day.
yeah.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
it was a big night for you.
Yeah, it was a good night.
So what does a day off look like for you boys? A bit of golf, bit of...
Yeah, we pretty much strictly golf. If we can play golf, we're out there on the golf course. So,
Who's the best
Yeah.
boys?
well, Damo's a lot better than me, but Geordie Barrett would be the best.
He's good at a lot of things, cricket as well.
He's
a
very
whiz.
talented.
He's a whiz.
But Damian's not too far behind.
Oh, Marie, we've played a few bit of golf this tour, and I'm in a real rough patch of form, mate.
He's at a comp, yeah, just recently.
Yeah, we had like a Ryder Cup format.
Yeah.
So like Geordie and was one captain and Bodie was the other captain. It's obviously Team Europe, Team USA, and then they pick who they pick their team.
Yeah.
We played up when we were up at Noosa, had 3 rounds. It was good fun.
Yeah.
Like, we probably started, when we first started, we probably had like 4 golfers, like main golfers, like Geordie, Bodie, Anton and myself. And now we've got like
Whole crew.
probably like
16?
yeah.
16 of us in the
Yeah.
chat. In the chat, probably like
Yeah.
at least 12 regulars.
Yeah. And we were only like, initially it was wherever you played, you'd hire clubs.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then last year when we had to come across to Oz for a while and we're away for a while, we're like, oh, can we compromise? Can we bring our clubs? And so now it's sort of, we just bring our clubs wherever we go now, which is me.
So Ryder Cup format, everyone picking who got picked last.
Who did? Oh,
I
yeah.
can't
One of the management was playing. He's an analysis chappy,
Yeah.
great man. And just naturally, management gets picked last. I think it was him. Yeah.
It was good, man. Like, boys get competitive, and the last day, like, it was once the boys have finished, everyone's waiting on 18th, waiting for the last group to come down the
If you're the last group, like we came in as last group on the first day, and it's nerve wracking because the game was still on the line, and everyone knows what's happening, and they're all just standing on the green.
Just watching.
And you're like taking your shots, shank.
What did you play for? Bitcoin or?
We played for a little bit of coin. We all put in a bit of money each.
Yeah,
pretty much when we won the money, we won, put a few beers on. So pretty much you get it back. You're just shouting around, really.
Yeah. So boys, you guys are obviously heading off to the States now. You guys head off on Sunday.
Yeah, we've got we're out of here early, 3 a.m. We leave this lovely place and go to Brizzy, then fly to Sydney. Then we have to split up, fly either to San Fran or LA, and then to Washington, DC. So it's a bit of flying, about 30 hours all up. But that's the start of end of year tour. So it's going to be awesome. Obviously, for us, we're still got a chip on our shoulder after going down to South Africa. Obviously a great team, but we can be better than that, obviously. So it'd be good to play some footy. Be pretty restricted in the bubble, so we'll be getting pretty tight on the end of year tour, but it's something we're looking forward to.
Yeah, that last game, we were at that South Africa game, and you guys really just one phase away from winning that. We really there's that last penalty, but and that atmosphere was epic. Like it was supposed to be 75% capacity. Man, I swear it was close to 90. Like there's so many Kiwis down there.
Yeah, got these heaps of Kiwis here in the Goldie. Yeah, it's pretty fortunate. Like it's cool how they've had those double-header games. You know, so you got all different. You got the Aussie jerseys, South Africa, and then the Argentinians. They get loud, they start singing, which is cool. And then like in that last game, there's heaps of All Black supporters, heaps of All Blacks jerseys in the crowd. So and it's cool. Like, and I've got a little bit of family over here too, so it's nice to be able to come over and catch up with them. And it's a cool atmosphere to play in front of. So it's cool when you've got plenty of supporters in the crowd when you're abroad. Yeah.
And guys so you guys can stay in the bubble when you guys are overseas in the States. You guys can't, not like here, you guys been able to check out a few golf courses and things like that.
Yeah, it's sort of like Brizzy, Goldie, and then the sunny coast has been unreal, just sort of pretty free of us when you're inside and stuff. But when we head over there, it's not like we're not locked down, but we can't go to other places where there's heaps of people, or we've got to like book out cafes or book out venues where we can go to, and we can still play golf, which is all good. But yeah, I guess we just don't have that freedom because all those countries are, opened up, and we can't get COVID. And probably the worst time to get COVID would be on the last 2 weeks of that tour, because then you miss your MIQ spot, and then probably be stuck over there for months, and then I'll have to go to Ibiza for 2 months.
tough life.
Then go see my mate in Japan, and then go home.
I just seen the tour. I think you guys miss out on playing England. Yeah, is there anyone you're looking forward to in those games? I think France, Ireland, Wales, Do you know who else?
Italy.
Italy.
Yeah.
Is there anyone in particular? Any game you're looking forward to the most?
They'll all be like when you go to the UK, man. Like all the games are epic.
Yeah.
The atmosphere at the grounds is just unreal. Like it's like a whole day's event. You know, they go to the bars and they come to the ground. It's like a bit of a party atmosphere. So Ireland's always a really cool place to play. I've never played there myself, but I've watched the game there when the boys have played, and that's a pretty special crowd to play in front of. But probably the French game's going to be a big one, I'd say. They're all going to be tough, but they'll be cool games to be a part of.
Yeah, because everybody's been pumping up the tyres of that 9 Anton
Dupont. Yeah,
he's pretty good
sharp, man.
yeah.
He looks real good.
And because they sent their C team down here to Australia, it'll be good to actually see what they can do.
Yeah. So it'll just be different rugby too, eh? Like it's, you know, we've been lucky here coming, it's like hot, dry ball. Whereas over there it's a different brand of rugby. So it's gonna be cool. It's always a massive challenge going over there and trying to play and adapt to the conditions, whatever it is, and the way they play. So it'll be cool.
Since Anton brought it up about Suntory, do you want to speak about that move and the telephone number salary?
Oh, man, it's worst kept secret to be fair. Heading off there over after the tour here. So it'll be fun. Japan's a cool spot. Yeah. I'm not sure how restricting now with the COVID over there, but the only sad thing is I won't get the summer back home. So I'm pretty much gonna get home midway through next year.
I'm sure you can sleep on those ends.
There'll be plenty of ramens and it's gonna be fun. Yeah, it's just it's obviously a bit of time. I left. It was surreal, man. Left home before we come over here, and I was had a mate staying at home. I said, "I'll see you in May. I'll get home in May." I was like, I had to pack. I had to pack for a while. So it's gonna be a cool experience. Japan's a cool spot.
Yep, you said going back home in May. How's being away from the family for that long? How do you find it?
It's like we were talking before. Like I don't have a partner or anything. I got mum and dad, my brother back down south. So
you proper muck then on tour.
Not many of us. There's not many of us. So I got family back home. So it is. You miss them a lot, but it's more you feel for the boys here. I've got kids and stuff back home. You know, it's a long time away for them. But the whole environment here is like a real family, orientated environment. So everyone's really close, and we try to do things where we do things as teams and have some fun together while we're away. And to be fair, it's gone pretty quick. Well, I feel like it's gone pretty quick the tour so far. So,
but it seems like quite a natural environment. Like some teams can try and almost force that kind of culture or connection, but here it just seems like a pretty natural environment.
Yeah, I think it's been growing, and we took a lot of learnings from last year. And like you said, environments aren't something you can sort of fake. You can't force anything upon a team. But this year the team's gelled so well, and it's kudos to the coaches and the leaders, and then obviously the whole team. As one coming together, and probably the best thing we could have done was be in Perth in quarantine. Even though we were locked up, we got real close, and obviously had been building before that. But I think when we sort of hit Perth, that's when everything just sort of come together, and we've been a pretty natural, free flowing and close team since.
You just sort of find that balance, and I guess you guys on your days off, a bit of golf, get your mind off rugby and that. So just finding that right mix, I think, is probably the way to go. Is that what you agree on? Yeah,
for sure. Obviously, when you need to work, you got to work hard, but you can't be on all the time. And all the boys understand that, the management understand that. So the balance in here is really good. You can't be on from Monday to Saturday, because once game time comes, you'll be burnt out. So you got to do the work, but having that balance in between is so important for the mind.
Boys, obviously part of being a professional sports person or an athlete is that obviously social media, and there's always some keyboard warriors out there. How have you guys kind of handled it as your careers kind of progressed, and and all the things that come with it?
Yeah, it can be tricky, Like it's obviously, even since we started, like 2014, and like where social media is now, is like, it's mad. Like obviously you got people when you're going good, they're pumping you up, and as soon as you're going bad, it's like they just drop you back down to earth, and it's like the media as well. And I guess probably the thing I've learned and we get taught as well is like you just create your own circle of people you listen to, like so you could get people commenting all the stuff. It's like, well, actually, he's probably got no idea what he's talking about. So, yeah, I just sort of just create a circle. It's like my parents, good close friends, guys like ALB, people I can just talk to and whenever you need to. But, naturally you're going to get those sort of people. But, that's just part of it, unfortunately.
Yeah. You, ALB?
Yeah, I'm very similar to Slim, like creating a circle of trust, and obviously that's your family and your close mates. But I think it's just experience as well. Over time, you learn that, those comments don't matter. And if people are commenting about you, you're obviously doing something right. Yeah. Like, like you're known. People want to comment because you're good at something. Yeah. But, it's got to that stage now. Like, comments used to hurt me, but I can read a bad comment and it's all good. Like, it just does not worry me. I just think, like, who has got time to really get into someone? Like I don't mind, like me and Slim, we might be watching a game of league and just naturally you be like what a shit mistake or something like that. That's just a comment you have between yourself. But who has the time to really go on Facebook and make a point of it? Like, if you got time to do that, then obviously you got problems in your life, and I feel sorry for those people in my opinion.
It's usually under the old fake account.
Exactly.
Like if they'd say it behind like a phone or a keyboard, but I'm sure if you walk past them on the street, they'll be like, "Oh, hey, going, I'm a massive fan." It's
exactly.
It's just it is sad. Like you do get those comments, but you work on ways how to deal with them and stuff. So,
no, for sure. One of the things I wanted to ask you about, Damo, was obviously when you kick for goals, it's always that cheeky smile that come out. But I think I read somewhere where you said the smile is not as wide as it once was. Like it's more of a smirk. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about that?
It's like I sort of started doing it a few years. It's gone on for a while now. I had a mental skills coach, David Galbraith. He's a good bugger back home. He was like, "Oh, why don't you just?" He's real quirky, like comes up with these real like interesting things, and he's like, "Oh, why don't you just get up there and like to help you relax, just smile and be like, just don't care about what's happening." So I was like, "Oh, I'll give it a crack." So I ended up getting part of a routine, and it's funny. Everyone asks it, like, and it's like, what are you laughing? What are you laughing at? What are you smiling at? And I just say, I'm just smiling at my mum, or someone's telling me a joke. So, but yeah, it's more just to help me relax and little things, but. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Some crowds like it, some crowds definitely don't.
After you kicked the winning goal, the old Wolfpack.
Oh, yeah. No, that was lucky enough to kick a couple this year, but
you did well. His back got sore after a
while. I've missed plenty as well. It's cool to be able to nail moments like that, but I've been moments where I've missed them as well. So. It's either hero or zero sometimes. So. But yeah, the smile is funny, my man. Everyone asks about it, and sometimes it's like, I just might not do it because it's like so many questions about it. I remember watching League. Christian Inner used to poke his tongue out. Yeah. So something different.
That's what I actually thought it came from.
Oh yeah,
I thought you were copying.
Yeah. No, I used to remember when he was it for the Bulldogs he was playing?
The Bulldogs,
yeah. And he used to always poke his tongue out.
Yeah.
He used to work for him. So.
Any little quirks for you, LB?
Nah, no quicks for me. I gave him a tip though. I said, if you're going to smile, just make sure you brush your teeth.
Have you seen Alvy? He doesn't score many tries. You watch him dive for it.
Mate.
He comes back with a knee grade. Goes on his knee.
I'm just that grafter working hard for these flashy boys. It's cleaning those rucks, bro, so you can score your tries.
We just seen Fozzie walking before, but you're both fortunate enough to be coached by old Dave Rennie as well, who's coaching the Wallabies. Any major differences between the two, or who's your favourite coach, really?
Obviously, both exceptional coaches and good at what they do. They have different styles. It's hard to explain because they're just both good rugby coaches. Renz is a real a lot about sort of your hard grafters, your hard work. and you work hard in your week, really hard. Whereas Fozzie's probably got a little bit more balance about him. Obviously do the work, but it's a lot about being mentally fresh as well. So that's probably the slight difference. But just on Ren's, he had a massive influence in my career, and I'm sure in Damo's as well. And it's been real hard to sort of play against them, because I love playing the Wallabies, and there's that rivalry, and we love beating the Wallabies. But to see Ren's sort of after the game and
after a loss,
after the loss, and when he's taking heat, for me, like, that's someone that's played a massive part of my career, and that's been the hardest part of since he's taken over the Wallabies. I guess we've been on the lucky side of results so far. So if it swings the other way, I hope he feels the same way. He probably won't, but he probably won't. Probably won't even care. But yeah, he's been awesome, and on them both, just in my opinion, exceptional coaches.
Yeah, Damo, yourself, a big impact on your career.
Yeah, they did actually. Coming up and with Ren's for a start, and it was actually hard getting a cricket 10 for Ren's because Ren's favourite son was Cruds.
Turbos days. The old turbos.
Hey, turbos days.
Are you just like every coach? It seems hard to get cricket 10. Like every coach. Like, what's going on here? Is there a common denominator, or is it?
I just must be shit, man. Maybe it's I can't tackle. I'm not sure. No, but he was a great coach. Really drove like his culture and stuff around the team. Like he'd be in the team room after games, like he had his get out, and he'd be playing songs and singing, and like I said, and then Foz has got like his great strengths as well. Like really balances out the lads of like training hard and getting our days off where he's like just decompress, get away from footy. They've both got their strengths, so pretty lucky to be able to be coached by both of them.
Yeah, they have those like either like a uncle vibe to them, mate. Like even when Fozzie walked in, it was like your old man just walked in.
It was honestly like the old man walked in. What are you boys doing?
Just trying to get a beer from the fridge or something.
It's so important for like your coaches to have like a good relationship with your players. Like it's you want to be able to be like play for your coach. You look up to your coaches. You want to play for them, and you want to win for them as well because they work really hard throughout a week. And we've got a easy job of being playing. It's obviously it's tough as well for us, but for the coaches, obviously they've got to do plenty of work as well throughout the week. So it's nice to be able to play for your coach and try to get a win for them when they're working hard as well.
I was just going to ask you boys about outside of footy, some interest apart from golf. Anything you guys looking at long term in terms of obviously as people get closer to the end of their careers, there was look at opportunities or business ventures outside of what they currently do. You guys got anything on the boil?
It's quite funny. We're just talking about Damo smiling when he kicks, and another venture we've been doing together was we follow each other around everywhere, along with our good mate Stephen Donald, the Beaver. We're bringing out a new drink called Grins, which is quite cool. So that's a new business venture, and it's keeping us busy outside of playing golf and outside of playing rugby. So we're going to drop it in November sometime, and it's something pretty exciting.
Just available in New Zealand?
No, it's going to be in Aussie soon. It's going to be on this table when you're doing the podcast.
Terramana tequila.
Yeah, we're just going to do the forecast for Australia. It's coming soon. I'll get my calculator out.
That must be a pretty interesting kind of journey, just working through that side. That's probably I don't want to say it doesn't come natural, but just a whole different, gives you a different perspective on life outside of footy.
Yeah, it is different. Like we're fortunate enough through like footy, we get to meet some great people, and we're lucky enough to earn some good money. So it's it's about trying out new things and investing, and not everything goes to plan. You got to trip over once to learn, and so it's just another opportunity we thought would be quite cool to give it a crack, and hopefully it goes good. But it's nice to be able to try something different outside of footy, and gives you interest. Like I said, when you're not on your days off, you might play golf in the morning, in the afternoon. It's like, we'll just pretend we're doing a few emails. Like the other day, I said I had to do a bit of admin. I think I sent one email. Then thought I was a businessman.
Right, that's the best thing about it is like it looks like we're doing something else, but really looking at the screen, typing, deleting, typing.
So who's the brains behind it?
Shit, not us. No. I got to give the credit to Beaver, and there's a couple others in behind the scene. Obviously, we're not around New Zealand at the moment, and there's been a lot of work to do. So, Beaver, if you're listening, or when you're listening, big shout out to you because he's an absolute workhorse. He's real old school, and when he gets an idea, he works his butt off, and sort of without him and other people in behind the scenes. There'd be no grins probably.
No, they're working.
We've seen a couple of emails as well,
Yeah. Hey, look, So, what's your official title? It's like creative directors, or
mine's what did I say? Mine was.
You're just a scraps man, bro. What are we? Just directors of the business. We just it's funny. We got to make.
I don't even know.
You're the self-proclaimed.
I was trying to remember what I was saying.
You're like the
sign off the emails director,
marketing director or something.
No, I wasn't the marketing. I was operations. Operations manager. Yeah. I will be over summer because that's obviously when it's coming out.
Yeah,
you'll have your feet up in Japan.
I'm 2IC.
Oh yeah, I'm the CEO.
Man, but it's really cool to see that because it was funny. Someone and I had a business meeting last week, and obviously he was sitting in there and it's a different environment. He's used to obviously team meetings and on the field, but it was just funny to see him in a different environment and those business settings. So hey. So, but no, credit to you guys because it's pretty easy just to not do anything, But it'd be good to scratch that itch and hopefully it goes well. And there's a few samples that come over to Australia.
We'll make sure they come across. Coming your way. Launch party at your house.
This guy's house.
Grins Australia. Grins Brizzy.
But it's a few boys because even Codes, obviously with the clips, and it was a pretty cool story how that come about. He's talking about how you guys have 3 different drinks you guys have to take during a test or at the end of a test.
Yeah.
And you always thought, why don't you just put this in one?
Yeah.
Is that similar way with how Grins came about? Or was it just more just...
It was more like just an idea we come up with. Thought, like it'd be cool to try something like that and have a drink of our own where you could just enjoy. You enjoy any other drink, but it's like knowing it was yours and you've helped create something like that is pretty cool. So
it's pretty much like when you're sitting around having a couple of beers. I think we're at Beaver's place having a barbecue, and the more beers you have, the more ideas you come up with.
That's exactly how
and those ideas never really come to fruition, but this one just stuck, and sort of Beaver messaged us a couple of months later, is like, should we do it? And I was like, yeah, let's do it. But I was like, it's not going to, you still in, it doesn't happen. He actually started doing it, and we're like, here we go. We're in. So
we're on here, boy.
Yeah.
It's often the way somebody has to start it and then just take the lead, and then everyone just falls in.
It's like when you're booking a New Year's accommodation. After New Year's, you say, let's book accommodation now for next one. And then you create a group and someone's like, let's do it. And it never happens till 2 months out or 1 month out.
The prices are...
Yeah. That's sort of how it come about.
Yeah, it's funny because all of those things that start, whether it's entering into... Got a bunch of boys and wants to enter into Byron Bay. There's 7 that goes on down there.
Yeah.
Anyway, everyone always says, King, let's go. And then, deposit $100. Oh, cricket tail. It was eyes emoji. Until the week before, then everybody's paying or asking if there's afterpay. But
that's what we heard. Deposit this amount, and then someone's like, "Oh, sweet." I was like, "Why are you sweet?" He's like, just signed a big contract. I was like, can I borrow some money?
You got us?
Thanks, bro. Interest-free loan.
That's usually what happens. Is one person chins the whole bill, and then you're chasing up blokes. Are you still owing me?
And that's him, bro. That's him, bro.
I'm on time.
Wait till we start profiting.
Long-term game.
Anton adds in admin fees too, so... He ends up making money from his New Year's trip.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I should, bro. You're going to be feet up in Japan, and I'm going to be on the ground, operations manager.
No New Year's for me, mate. I think they train around that time, so damn it.
But going on end of year tour, at least you missed the preseason, eh? They're actually going now, eh?
I think it's going now, yeah. So, like, that's the thing. That's a great thing about if you make the end of year tour, then go back for, like, if you're back to Super, you miss out on the preseason. Yeah. Which is the tough grind. Like, it's just long days and getting thrashed. And it's actually better than what it used to be, but I'll miss most of the one over there. So, hopefully, it's just straight into a few preseason games. And
I seen that Bronco you guys did the other day. They look tough, eh? Like, even it just.
We had a fun week in Noosa. Literally on
Sunday.
Sunday. So we had training on Sunday. Not sure why, but
planned
there. Yeah, that's good. Day off Monday. So
coaches aren't silly.
No.
But it's good. Like like if you're gonna have a good time off, it's like you gotta pay the debt. And
Sunday was running, like the hardest because at Bronco's tough. Like it's testing, but
then it's over.
It's just under 5 minutes for most of the boys. But Sunday we did a good hour of running, and obviously had a good week in Noosa.
Yep.
Beer's still sweating out, so that was probably the toughest day for us.
You said under 5 minutes for most boys. Anybody took over the old 5 minute mark?
Oh, it's
that are not forwards.
The front rowers. All the backs are pretty good, eh? True. It gets real competitive. Like in here, you'll probably run your best Bronco times because everyone's like, "Oh yeah, I'll run with you," but really, everyone takes off. So
you feel for the big boys, eh? Like we're sitting here like, and don't want to do this Bronco, and we're like dreading it. And you imagine the big boys, it's like they must be sitting there like we did a review before it. Honestly, barely see what a word said, and then in the changing rooms before we went out for it, nothing.
Yeah, bro.
And then after the training, boys had the music pumping.
Mentally trying to prepare.
Oh man, that's what it is. It's still mental, Like if you're on a Tuesday day off and you're like, "Oh, we got Bronco Wednesday," it's like that later half of your Tuesday after, you're just like, "Oh man."
What I noticed as well, there was no forwards in the middle, so it was obviously all the backs just running in the middle. You could see from some of the video footage, all the big boys are on the side.
They usually go front rows at this end, all the way down to outside. So it's like you're sort of in your group, so which is fair enough.
Who ran the fastest Bronco?
This guy did.
Bodie. Bodie wasn't doing it, or Geordie. They're usually the guns of the day.
Yeah, they all go at it, but Bodie's probably the fastest. I don't know how he does it, eh? You got to be seriously just quick pace. It's like he's got the perfect fitness, stamina, and speed. It's about that, being able to sustain a speed for so long, and it works out well.
Well, just a couple more questions before we finish off. Obviously, back home in New Zealand, you guys are superheroes to kids growing up. Who are some of your idols growing up? I know, Anton, you mentioned Sonny Bill. Is there anyone else?
Probably mine was Andrew Mertens. Like when I was growing up. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, Andrew Mertens. Watched a lot of Crusaders games, had a Canterbury shirt, believe it or not. So Andrew Mertens was probably, and guys like Christian Cullen, he was one of my favourite players, just the way he played. So no Chiefs boys, unfortunately. I'm sure there's some good players there, but
Christian Cullen was the real run from everywhere, score try. He does real 100-metre tries.
Yeah. So those two are probably blokes I looked up to.
Yeah, like obviously I mentioned Sonny, and he was probably my real first big hero. But actually, there's a couple of players at my club, and they played Canterbury Crusaders, and they'll be sometimes playing for Marist Albion. They'll be at like club days and stuff, which is a big buzz. And a couple of those players was Ben Blair and Casey Laulala. So I looked up to those guys a lot, and I grew up in Christchurch, so a lot of the Crusaders as well.
And it's good that all those a lot of boys, especially in the rugby communities, tend to go back to where it all started.
Yeah,
same story for you guys towards the back end. Probably put on a Stags jersey.
Yeah, I'd actually love to get home and play for the Stags at some stage. Yeah. Just because I grew up playing all my age group stuff there, and they've done a lot for my rugby career, and it was cool. Like last year, we got to go back and play for Waikato. Yeah, got a few games. All the boys got to play wide of 10. So that was cool, like going back and playing with guys who are obviously been playing wider for a while, but then you go get to play with guys who are just peaked out of club rugby. Trainings are at night. So it's cool to, like, good buzz to go back and play with those boys. And you're playing in the after. We played 2:30 games. Just turned up to the game. We'd like no pre-match, just turn up to the game. So it was pretty cool to get back and play that rugby, definitely.
Sam came playing for King Country.
Sam playing for King Country. yeah. It's cool to get back to that grassroots rugby, because obviously where it all starts, and hopefully we can keep growing that stuff back home. Grassroots footy.
And you're saying just before this podcast, when you come back from Japan, you want to go to the Crusaders?
No chance. I'll be straight back to my boys in Hamilton. Back to the Chiefs. If
He
they
might have to. He won't get a spot there.
That's what
He's off to Moana Pacific.
Actually, I wanted to ask you about that. Obviously, the 2 new teams into Super Rugby, the Fijian Drew and Moana Pacifica. So that's it's pretty good for the comp and just for the talent in the region to be able to play. You guys have any thoughts on that and them coming to the competition? Obviously, signing Christian.
I think it's awesome. And what it does is, it's awesome that, I guess, it gives the Pacific nations the chance to have a couple of teams. And I remember watching this doco, and I think there's a stat that over a third of professional rugby players are Māori or Pacific Islander, which is, massive. So they obviously play a big part in professional rugby and rugby league as well. So to give those nations the opportunity to have teams is very cool. And the other thing it does is it gives us a round robin. We get to play each team, and we don't have to play Super Rugby Aotearoa and thrash each other each week.
Bro, that was intense.
Yeah,
like every game.
So I'm really looking forward to the new comp, and man, those teams are going to bring a lot of razzle. So yeah, watch out.
Anything else? Boys, really appreciate you guys' time. Like somebody said to us on the weekend, like people pay heaps of money for the blokes that we've had on. So we're pretty grateful for you guys jumping on and sharing some of your stories, and hopefully as a byproduct of that might inspire the next generation or anybody that listens to it really to step out and do their own thing. But I just wanted to wish you guys all the best, obviously in the end of year tour over to Europe, as well as for Grins. Just let me know who I need to email for us.
There'll be some coming your way. Just keep plugging it, please.
Boys, thanks for jumping on and giving up your time, and all the best for the spring tour.
It's been a pleasure.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks very much.
Appreciate it.
Awesome.